Greetings, friends, and a warm welcome to Poketto Booksy. Today, we embark on a journey through the guide, Investing Yourself. It was a summer break in a tranquil countryside town. Each day was vibrant, teeming with possibility. At the first touch of the sun's rays upon the fields, children would rush out to play, and adults would get busy with their daily chores. But this particular summer carried different essence. Ryan, a young man pursuing his studies in the city, had come back to visit his hometown. He was the first young man from this humble town to ever attend college. His presence ignited excitement and curiosity among everyone. One afternoon, as neighbors convened under a grand oak tree, sipping tea, Mr. Roberts, a respected elder in the community, inquired, "Ryan, enlighten us. What are you studying these days in the city?" Ryan smiled and replied, "I'm majoring in business management right now and taking a few online courses too. These days, you can learn so much completely free on the internet." The crowd looked surprised. "Online courses? What's that all about?" Mr. Roberts asked, eyebrows raised. Ryan pulled out his phone and opened an app. "Look, Uncle. This here's a course I'm taking right now on how to make better financial decisions. It teaches you where to invest money, how to spend wisely, and how to save effectively." Mr. Roberts paused a moment, deep in thought. Back in our day, education meant working in the fields. But it seems the real education is what you're describing now. Ryan nodded and said, "Uncle, the world is changing fast. Technology is everywhere. Whether it's farming or business, everything's evolving. If we don't keep learning, we'll be left behind." Nearby sat little Sam, an 8th grader, listening intently. Left double quotation mark. "Ryan, what's the point of all this studying, really? I mean, how does it truly help us now?" Ryan smiled warmly. Left double quotation mark. "It teaches us how to think, really think. Each time we learn something new, whether it's from a book, a video, or even just a conversation, it sharpens our problem-solving skills, see? For instance, if a crop disease were to hit a farm, an educated farmer would research solutions, watch YouTube tutorials, talk to agricultural experts, and make the right decisions. But without knowledge, we'd be stuck guessing and hoping for the best, wouldn't we?" Now everyone's eyes were filled with curiosity. Nearby sat little Sam, an 8th grader, listening intently. Left double quotation mark. "Ryan, what's the point of all this studying, really? I mean, how does it truly help us now?" Ryan smiled warmly. Left double quotation mark. "It teaches us how to think, really think. Each time we learn something new, whether it's from a book, a video, or even just a conversation, it sharpens our problem-solving skills, see? For instance, if a crop disease were to hit a farm, an educated farmer would research solutions, watch YouTube tutorials, talk to agricultural experts, and make the right decisions. But without knowledge, we'd be stuck guessing and hoping for the best, wouldn't we?" Now everyone's eyes were filled with curiosity. Just then, Jack, sitting nearby, inquired, "But Ryan, isn't all this learning a bit of a challenge? Doesn't it require time, a smartphone, and of course, data?" Ryan gave a nod. "You're right, Jack, but these days, it's not nearly as difficult as it once was. With programs like Digital America, the government even offers free basic computer education. And now, even small towns have internet access. With just a smartphone, one can gain knowledge from anywhere in the world. All it takes is curiosity and the willingness to learn." Mr. Roberts sighed and said thoughtfully, "You know, Ryan, had I been more educated, perhaps I could have made better decisions for my farm. Last season, I used the wrong chemicals and my entire crop was ruined. If only I'd learned properly, I could have saved it." Ryan swiftly produced his phone, revealing another app. "Behold, Uncle. This is the Farmer's Companion app. It offers a wealth of information about farming, weather updates, guidance on fertilizer use, and insights into optimal soil types for various crops. Everything you need is right here." By now, the group had fallen silent. Their minds were churning. Everyone started realizing that education wasn't just about attending school or college anymore. It was something that could help in every aspect of life. Ryan continued, "Education is like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is strong, you can build anything on it, be it a career, a business, or solving life's toughest problems. With knowledge, everything becomes easier." Little Sam's face lit up with excitement. "Ryan, can I also take an online course?" Ryan chuckled softly. "Why not, really? There are a plethora of websites, you see, like Khan Academy, Coursera, and Udemy that offer lessons in math, science, art, computer programming, and even English speaking. And perhaps the best part? Many of these courses are free." Jack raised his hand, questioning. "But Ryan, what about those who don't know English?" Ryan replied, "Many courses are now available in Spanish and other local languages too. And let's not forget YouTube. You'll find videos on nearly every topic in multiple languages." By now, the discussion had transformed into an informal classroom. Each person was eager to learn something new. They started to understand that education wasn't just about degrees. It was about skills, the ability to think critically, and the power to make wise decisions. That day marked the beginning of a transformation in the village. Ryan, he decided to form himself a little learning group. Each evening, kids, teenagers, and even some of the adults gathered neath the old oak tree, watching educational videos on their phones and TVs. Some were learning basic English, while others explored new farming techniques. Mr. Roberts, who never used to check the weather, now made it a habit for he headed out to his fields. Slowly but surely, the villagers began to understand. Education, it ain't just about going to school. It's about learning something new every single day. The more you learn, the better you think. The better you think, the smarter your decisions. And the smarter your decisions, the more solutions you find to life's problems. Most importantly, education builds self-confidence. When a person knows, "I can learn this, I can do this," fear disappears and opportunities open up. Ryan's summer visit. It gave the whole village a new way of thinking. Ryan's visit that summer, well, it had sparked quite a wave of learning in the little town, it did. But as the days slipped by, he noticed something else, something kinda subtle. See, every morning, Ryan would head out for a jog, stretch out his muscles, do a little yoga. But he realized the folks in the village, they tired so quickly. Mr. Roberts now, he'd get out of breath after walking just a short distance. And the kids? After sitting for hours, heads ending for sexual phones or books, they'd complain of headaches, find it hard to focus. There was this constant sense of fatigue, almost a laziness hanging in the air. Then, one afternoon, as the children gathered under the old oak tree, they said to Ryan, "Ryan, can we skip studying today? We're so tired. Our brains just aren't working." Ryan smiled, a knowing smile. "All right, no studying today. But let's try something different, something new. Let's do an experiment." Ryan smiled. "All right, no studying today, but let's try something different. Let's do an experiment." Sam's eyes lit up. "An experiment? What kind?" Ryan replied. "Today, we're going to talk about physical health. Let's all go for a walk to the fields. We'll talk as we walk." Soon, a group of kids, a few adults, and Ryan himself were walking toward the fields. As they strolled, Ryan asked, "Do you all feel like your brains get tired too quickly? That you can't focus? That you run out of energy fast?" Everyone nodded. "That happens," Ryan said, "because of one simple reason: physical health. If your body isn't active, your mind won't be active either. Just like a machine needs oil to run smoothly, our brain needs oxygen, nutrients, and movement to function at its best." Jack, who was always glued to his mobile games, frowned. "But Ryan, studying requires sitting still. How does moving around make our brains sharper? Ryan grinned. That's a great question, Jack. You see, when we move, whether it's running, yoga, or even simple exercises, our blood circulation improves. And with that, more oxygen reaches the brain. This, in turn, makes your mind sharper, improves focus, and strengthens memory. Studies even show that people who stay physically active have better learning abilities than those who don't. Mr. Roberts, walking behind them, chuckled. So, should we all join a gym now? The group laughed. Ryan shook his head. You don't need a gym, Uncle. Regular movement is enough. A 20 to 30-minute walk every morning, some light stretching, and a few simple bodyweight exercises, like squats, push-ups, or sun salutations, 2 or 3 times a week. This strengthens your muscles, boosts your energy, and helps your brain work more clearly. Sam chimed in. Does food matter too? Absolutely, Ryan replied. Our brains, they draw their very life from the food we consume. Now, if we burden ourselves with junk food, those oily meals, and sugary treats, it might spark a fleeting burst of energy, but then we inevitably crash. A well-rounded diet, rich with lentils, vibrant leafy greens, succulent fruits, nourishing nuts, and an abundance of water, that's what truly sustains an active body and keeps the mind sharp. Chantel, who was sitting nearby, spoke up. But Ryan, I always feel so sleepy when I try to study. No matter what I do, as soon as I open a book, I start yawning. Ryan explained. That happens because of poor nutrition and a sedentary lifestyle. Now, if you rise with the sun, spend an hour breathing in the crisp morning air, engage in 10 minutes of skipping or perhaps jumping jacks, and partake in a breakfast rich with fruits, sprouts, or milk, your body will resonate with energy throughout the day, and you might actually find yourself enjoying the act of studying. By this point, everyone began to truly understand. Ryan presented them with a simple challenge. Starting today, for the next 10 days, each of you will dedicate 30 minutes every morning to walking, engage in some light movement, and consume at least 1 piece of fruit each day. Then, we shall observe how you feel. Everyone agreed, eagerly. The very next morning, the village seemed transformed. Children were skipping rope beneath the ancient oak tree. Mr. Roberts was taking deep breaths of the fresh morning air. Even the women had started walking together in groups. Ryan reminded them, physical health isn't merely about aesthetics, about looking good. No, the most significant benefit lies in the improvement of brain performance. When the body is fit, stress levels, they recede, your mood elevates, and your mind, it operates with newfound speed. Just 5 days later, Jack came running up to Ryan, excited. Ryan, I don't feel sleepy when I open my books anymore. In fact, I'm enjoying it now. Ryan smiled. That's because your brain is active now. The brain and body, they're inextricably connected. When the body is sluggish, the mind feels dull too. But when you exercise, happy hormones like dopamine and serotonin are released. These reduce stress and improve focus. Even Mr. Roberts agreed. Ryan, earlier I would feel exhausted halfway through the day. But now, it feels like my days are longer and I still have energy left in the evenings. As the days went by, the villagers, they seemed to find a new spring in their step. The kids, bless their hearts, took to their studies like never before. The adults, they just felt healthier, more alive. And even the women started sharing secrets of nutrition during their morning strolls. But Ryan, ever the observant one, he noticed something else too. A good many of them still seemed lost. Like they were searching for something, trying to find their way in this big old world. One evening, they all gathered under the oak, same as always. But Sam, he looked a little downcast, troubled, like a storm was brewing inside him. Ryan couldn't help but notice, and he asked, Sam, what's on your mind? You seem a bit quiet today, my friend." Sam sighed, a deep, heartfelt sigh. "Ryan, I'm doing my best. I study, I exercise, I try to do everything right. But I still don't know what I want to do with my life, what my purpose is. Some days, I reckon, I ponder the path of a healer, a doctor. Yet other times, I find myself drawn to the noble calling of a teacher. And then there are moments when I wonder if my destiny lies right here, toiling on the farm. My mind, it feels like a tempestuous sea, so confused. And, truth be told, sometimes fear creeps in. What if I stumble? What if I choose the wrong path?" Ryan paused, a moment of quiet contemplation, then nodded with understanding. "That's a profound question, Sam. And you know what? To feel this confusion, this uncertainty, it's a part of the journey, a natural phase. Clarity, it doesn't burst forth in an instant. It's a gradual unveiling, a slow burn. And it emerges through mindfulness and a deep self-awareness." Jack interjected, a nervous chuckle escaping his lips. "Mindfulness? Is that akin to decluttering the mind, perhaps?" A ripple of chuckles spread through the group. "If I will give you my first time, I will be fat and bloody, wait and move in me." Ryan offered a warm smile. "Not quite, Jack. Mindfulness is about observing your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, without the burden of judgment. It's about lending your attention to the inner workings of your mind and striving to understand them. As you cultivate this practice, clarity begins to take root, to grow." "Mr. Roberts," he chimed in. "So, you're talking about meditation, right?" "Exactly, Uncle," Ryan replied. "Meditation is one way to practice mindfulness. When you sit quietly for a few minutes and focus on your breathing, the noise in your mind starts to settle. And when the noise quiets down, clarity comes in." The group grew silent, listening closely. Ryan continued. "When I was in college, I felt the same way, unsure about which career path to take. I had so much anxiety. Then a mentor suggested I try meditation and journaling." Sam asked, "Journaling? You mean like writing in a diary?" Left double quotation mark. "Every night before bed, I'd spend 5 minutes jotting down my thoughts." Left double quotation mark. "But over time, I started to notice patterns, subtle shifts in my awareness. I began to understand which activities truly spark joy and which ones drained me. Slowly, my goals became clearer." Jack sighed. "Ryan, this all sounds great, but for people like me who can barely sit still to study, isn't this really hard?" Ryan chuckled. "That's precisely why mindfulness is so important, my friend. Mindfulness and self-awareness, they truly grant us the strength to grasp ourselves on a deeper level. Once you've come to know your own rhythms, those moments when motivation sparks, when anxiety creeps in, well, you can learn to steer those very emotions rather than letting them dictate your course." Mr. Roberts inquired, "So, could we take a stab at this as well? This meditation and everything else?" "Assuredly, Uncle," Ryan responded with warmth. "Let's give it a whirl right now." Thereupon, Ryan guided everyone through a straightforward 5-minute breathing meditation. Spreading out mats beneath the oak, they shut their eyes, heeding Ryan's guidance. Let your awareness settle upon your breath. Sense the air as it enters and as it leaves. Should a thought arise, do not resist it. Allow it to drift by and gently guide your focus back to your breathing. 5 minutes later, as eyes fluttered open, a serene energy appeared to permeate the group. Jack whispered, "Ryan, my head feels lighter somehow." Ryan smiled. "That's the magic. If you do this for 5-10 minutes every day, your mind will become clearer. You'll stop making impulsive decisions and start bringing balance into your life." Sam's face lit up. "Then I'll start journaling too. Every night, I'll write down what I did and how I felt." Ryan nodded. "That's wonderful, Sam." Journaling helps you understand your emotions and refine your goals. And this isn't just for students or young people. Anyone can do it. Uncle Roberts, you could write about your farming, what you tried, what worked, and what didn't. It'll sharpen your thinking and help you make better decisions. Soon, a new habit began to spread through the village. Beyond their morning strolls and evening readings, folks began stealing away moments each night, just to sit quiet like with their own thoughts, or scribbling down in those little books Ryan passed out. They took to calling it their self-discovery journal. Slowly but surely, the villagers started getting to know themselves a bit better. Mr. Roberts, he realized his love lay in trying out new farming methods, so he decided to give organic farming a whirl for the first time. There, Jack. He found his heart belonged to working with animals and started learning all about veterinary science. And Sam, well, he found clarity. He loved drawing and signed up for an online art course. It felt like a new chapter had opened up in their lives. Ryan smiled, and one evening he shared with the group, "The greatest strength you see in this life is knowing yourself. Mindfulness and self-awareness, they're like mirrors, helping us see our future with clarity. When you truly know who you are, what you think, what you feel, you make wiser decisions and refine your goals." Under that old oak tree, there wasn't just chatter anymore. There was stillness. Some folks sat quietly, focusing on their breath. Others scribbled in their journals. And some, they simply closed their eyes, meeting themselves for the very first time. The village wasn't just physically active now. It was becoming mentally aware too. Ryan's dream was coming alive. A place where education, health, and mindfulness walked hand in hand. As the days drifted on, the village, it transformed, evolving into a vibrant hub, a place of learning and self-awareness. The children, they no longer feared books. No, they opened them with a sense of curiosity. Adults, they felt healthier, calmer, and even the women, they started discussing nutrition, mindfulness during their morning walks. But Ryan knew there was still one more skill they needed, the ability to express themselves clearly. One afternoon, the village schoolteacher, Mr. Adams, approached Ryan. "Ryan, we're organizing a small gathering at the community center this Sunday to encourage the kids. Would you come and speak to them?" Ryan smiled warmly. "Of course, Mr. Adams. And if you don't mind, I'd love to hold a short session on public speaking and writing as well." Mr. Adams looked taken aback. "Public speaking? Writing, you say? But Ryan, aren't the kids still so young? Seems a bit much right now, doesn't it?" Ryan shook his head gently. "Sir, this is the perfect time, truly. When children learn to express themselves clearly and confidently at a young age, they won't just succeed in exams, they'll succeed in life and all its facets." That Sunday, the community center buzzed with an excitement all its own. Parents, teachers, even a few curious farmers filled the hall as the kids sat eagerly in the front row. Ryan stood on the stage, scanning the room. This time, he wasn't just there to teach. He was there to empower, to uplift. "You're all doing wonderful work," Ryan began. "Learning new things, improving your health, practicing mindfulness. But today, I want to talk about one more skill, one that can amplify your influence and create a profound impact. And that's public speaking and writing." The children's eyes, they widened with curiosity. Some of the adults, they exchanged uncertain glances. "When I was younger," Ryan continued, "I was terrified of speaking in front of others. My hands, they'd tremble, and my voice would crack. But one day, I was asked to recite a poem at school. Scared as I was, I stood up and gave it my best shot. The applause I received that day changed everything. I realized something important. When you speak confidently, people listen. And when people listen, they respect you." Ryan turned to Sam. "Sam, Imagine you come up with a brilliant idea, maybe a new app or a farming method that could help hundreds of people. But if you can't explain it clearly or confidently, will your idea go anywhere? Sam shook his head. No, that's right, Ryan said. Public speaking and writing, they help shape your ideas into something, well, something powerful. When you speak clearly and write effectively, you inspire others, and you make them believe in your vision. Jack raised his hand nervously. But Ryan, I get so scared speaking in front of people. It feels like my words just disappear. Oh no, Ryan chuckled softly. Left double quotation mark. That happens to everyone at first. But here's the secret. This fear, it fades with practice. Just like you learn to ride a bike, you can learn to speak confidently. And writing? Writing is even more powerful. When you write down your thoughts, whether in a journal, a message, or a speech, you create something lasting. Ryan gave the group a simple activity. Let's try something easy. Now, listen. Imagine each person standing up, saying just one line. Hi, my name is your name, and I love something you enjoy doing. At first, nothing. Just silence. Then, slowly, one by one, the kids rose. Some, they hesitated. Others, they giggled, nervous as could be, but they spoke. And each time, as someone finished, applause just washed over the room. That's how it begins, you see, Ryan said, smiling. Left double quotation mark. Step by step, confidence takes root. And when you write every day, even just a few sentences, your thoughts find clarity, and your words, they gain power. From the back, Mr. Roberts spoke up. Ryan, why would we farmers need to learn public speaking? Ryan replied, without a moment's hesitation, Uncle, you know more about the land than anyone. Now, if you could just clearly present your ideas at the farmer's market or speak up at a town meeting, don't you think people would listen a little closer? Mr. Roberts paused, thinking deeply. Other adults nodded in agreement. Ryan continued. You know, just recently, a young boy from a small town, he made a short video about the problems in his village. Spoke with such clarity, such passion. The video, it went viral, and even the government, they took notice. That's the power of communication, right there. By the end of the session, even the shyest kids were eager to share their thoughts. Mr. Adams turned to Ryan and said, You're right, Ryan. We should make speaking and writing regular activities in our school. It'll help these kids grow in every way. Ryan suggested starting a Sunday talent hour where anyone, kids or adults, could share their ideas, poems, stories, or speeches. The very next Sunday, 'neath the old oak, the first talent hour sprang to life. Sam spoke of his love for drawing, he did. Rachel recited a poem, sweet as a summer breeze. And Mr. Roberts, well, he shared his thoughts on organic farming. Each and every speech was met with cheers and claps, loud and true. Ryan watched pride swelling in his heart as the villagers, they slowly became not just learners, but confident communicators too. And as the days drifted by, the changes in the village, they became undeniable. Children spoke with confidence, with curiosity shining in their eyes. Adults, they took care of their health, practiced mindfulness, finding peace in the quiet moments. Even the women, they participated in discussions about nutrition and learning, their voices strong and clear. But Ryan, he noticed one last gap, an understanding of money, of its ebb and flow. One evening, as everyone gathered under the oak, Mr. Roberts, he looked troubled, his brow furrowed with worry. Ryan noticed and asked, Uncle, is something amiss? You seem, well, a little tense today. Mr. Roberts sighed. Ryan, the harvest was good this year, and I even managed to save a little money, but I still don't know what to do with it. I thought about keeping it safe or perhaps trying something new, but what if there's an emergency, like an illness or a bad season? I'm scared all of it will simply vanish again. Ryan nodded seriously. Uncle, you've brought up something very important indeed. Knowledge, health, and self-awareness are all incredibly valuable. But without financial literacy, that is, the understanding of how to manage money, it all remains incomplete. Financial literacy is what truly gives you real freedom. The entire group leaned in, eager to listen. Earning money, that's a skill. Ryan explained. Left double quotation mark. But, an even greater skill is knowing how to manage it, spend it wisely, and, indeed, make it grow. These three things, budgeting, saving, and investing, and building assets, make up financial literacy. Jack raised his hand. Left double quotation mark. Ryan, what's budgeting? Ryan smiled. White smiled. Left double quotation mark. Budgeting means keeping track of how much you earn and how much you spend every month, and then making smart choices with your money. For example, if your monthly income is $1,000, you should know where it's going. $400 for food, $64 for household expenses, $63 for school fees or medical bills, $64, and how much is left over. It's like checking your phone balance. You need to know what's coming in and what's going out. Sam nodded thoughtfully. So, it's like keeping a money diary, huh? Exactly, Ryan said. These days, there are apps that can help you do this. But even if you don't use an app, a simple notebook works just fine. Write down every dollar you earn and every dollar you spend. It's a small habit, but it makes a huge difference. Mr. Roberts spoke again. Ryan, we've always lived hand to mouth. Whatever we earn, we spend. We've never thought about saving for the future. That's the problem, Uncle, Ryan said gently. When you don't understand money, you work hard every day, but end up with nothing at the end of the year. That's why it's so important to teach yourself and your children the real value and use of money. Jack had another question. What about investing? What does that mean? Ryan explained. Investing means putting your money into something that grows over time. For example, you could put $500 into a good mutual fund or a government savings plan. Over the years, that money grows with interest. Investing helps you achieve long-term goals, like paying for your kid's education, buying a home, or having a backup during emergencies. Sam looked puzzled. So, is saving money in the bank enough? Ryan shook his head. See, keeping money in the bank is safe enough, but just saving ain't gonna cut it. Inflation, the rise in prices, slowly eats away at your savings bit by bit. That's why you should save some money, sure, but invest some too. Today, there are safe government programs and mutual funds where you can start with even small amounts, you know. Mr. Roberts asked cautiously, I own land. Is that an asset? Yes, Uncle, it absolutely is, Ryan replied. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, plain and simple. Land, a house, livestock, or even a small business that gives you regular income. These are assets. But things like a smartphone, a motorcycle, or a TV, those are liabilities. They take money out of your pocket instead of creating it. Ryan then shared a story to inspire them. See, in the city, I have a friend named David. When he started working, his salary was only $2,000 a month. Every month, he invested $200 in a mutual fund and saved another $100 in a recurring deposit. In 5 years, his savings had grown so much that he started a small computer center. Today, his monthly income is $5,000, all because he planned his finances wisely from the start. Sam's eyes widened. Left double quotation mark. Wow, he did all that with such a small income? Yes. Ryan said, that's the power of consistency and patience. Money doesn't grow overnight, but if you invest it smartly and give it time, it can change your life. By now, the group sat in deep thought. Ryan shared a simple, time-tested financial plan. 1637. Track your income and expenses each and every month. 1637. Understand the subtle yet crucial difference between needs and wants. Spend wisely, spend deliberately. Savings. Save at least 20% of your income, a bedrock for the future. Save at least 20% of your income, a bulwark against the tempests of unexpected situations. Start investing, even if it's just a little, the seeds of tomorrow's growth. 6. Focus on creating assets that will generate income in the future. Before leaving, Ryan handed out small notebooks, each labeled Money Mastery Journal. Write down your income, expenses, savings, and investments every month, he instructed, his voice resonating with purpose. A year from now, he paused, a glint in his eye, you'll be amazed at the difference. As evening fell and the sun dipped low, Ryan stood before the town, and he said, "Knowledge, you see, it gives you direction. Health, it gives you energy. Mindfulness, that gives you clarity. Expression, that gives you influence. But financial literacy? That gives you freedom. When you truly understand money, you're no longer afraid. You take control of your decisions, and that's real independence." The next day, the time had come for Ryan to return to the city. The entire village came to see him off at the train station. Some brought him fruits, yes, others handed him books. Mr. Roberts blessed him with teary eyes. Ryan left, but his lessons, they echoed still under the old oak tree each evening. This little town, it wasn't just living anymore, it was living smartly. They had learned this. Education, it builds strong foundations. Health fuels your body and your mind. Mindfulness, it brings peace and clarity. Communication creates influence. And financial wisdom, it opens doors to freedom. Ryan's summer visit planted seeds of change that would grow for generations.